Hi, and welcome back to Focal Point AFR Talk. One fascinating little detail, and then we'll go right back to the phones, 888-589-8840. And this gives you, again, a window of insight into who Phil Robertson is. Do you know what he was doing the night that he got canned by the A&E network? What he was doing the night when Big Gay had targeted him and scalped him and terminated his presence on the Duck Dynasty program. He was at church praying for a woman who had been stricken with cancer. That's where he was. He was at his church with a prayer group praying for a woman who was a victim of cancer. And his pastor says, look, he didn't even talk about the suspension. He didn't even mention it. He didn't bring it up. That was not what he was there for. He was there to minister in the name of Jesus. Let's go to Chris in Tennessee. Chris, welcome to Focal Point with Brian Fisher. What's on your mind?
Hi, Brian. Thank you for taking my call. I've
Yes,
got
sir.
2 quick points. The first one, there's no argument. Number one, if you do not like homosexuality, that's not racism, because being a homosexual is not a race. It's not. We have the human race. We don't have the homo race.
Correct.
Number two, the reason why homosexuality is an abomination is because if you are gay, you are telling God, I do not appreciate the way that you made me. I don't care what your intentions were in your master plan, in the whole scheme of life. I do not appreciate the way that I am. Even though you put all of this love and effort into me, I don't like the way that I am. You shouldn't have made me this way, and therefore it is a direct insult to God. And it's absolutely sad that people can't appreciate the way that they were made. As we have said, God intended a man to be a man and a woman to be a woman for procreation. And I just think it's absolutely, I think it is a rebellion disorder with homosexuals because they are rebelling against God and what his intentions for them in life were. And that's how I explain. Whenever the issue comes up in social circles, I tell people it is a direct insult to God because he made us, he took the time and effort to make us the way that we are because he had certain intentions for us in life. And for anyone to say, I don't like the way that you made me, God, is a direct insult and a slap in the face to him.
All right, well, listen, I appreciate that call, Chris. Thank you for that. And it's kind of an interesting twist on it. You know, these people, the only verse that these people know in the Bible is judge not lest you be judged. It's like that's the only verse in the Bible. They've got a Bible, you open it up, it's got one page, and it's only got one verse on it, judge not lest ye be judged. That's the only verse they know from the Bible. It used to be everybody knew John 3:16. Now the only verse that people know is Matthew 7:2. So, you know, Chris's point, well, these people are saying judge not lest you be judged. Well, then why are you judging God? Why are you condemning God for his standard of sexual morality if we're not supposed to judge other people? What is up with that? And, you know, I think that, the point that Phil Robertson was making primarily is that homosexual sex is unnatural. It is contrary to nature. It uses the human body and organs in the human body. It uses them in ways that are contrary to the purpose for which they were designed. And that's always a point that you can make in a conversation like this. Homosexual behavior is fundamentally unnatural. It is contrary to the laws of nature. You know, you might even say to a Darwin, even if you believe evolution designed the human body, you'd have to say, look, evolution didn't design the human body for this purpose. In fact, I've said this many times before, but I believe that evolutionists ought to be the more fiercely opposed to homosexuality than we are, and to the normalization and legalization and subsidization of homosexuality, even than evangelicals are. Because remember, if you're an evolutionist, everything is about the propagation of the species. Well, that's impossible in homosexual sex. Species can't propagate. Plus, it does damage to the human body. You know, we've had those stories about Muslims saying, look, it's okay to engage in that kind of sexual behavior if the whole purpose of it is to widen the aperture of the body so it can hold a bomb. As long as that's what you're doing. So they're admitting, look, it does damage to the human body, and that's okay as long as you're going to, as long as you're going to use it to blow infidels up. So it does damage to the human body. And that's reason alone to say, look, this is not behavior that ought to be normalized. And Phil Robertson setting the pace for us there. All right, Chris, thank you for the call. Let's go to Jacob, also in Tennessee. Jacob, welcome to Focal Point. What's on your mind?
Hey, Brian. Yeah, well, first of all, I really appreciate your show. I listen to you every day, and you're one of my favorites.
Thank you.
Yeah, I had a thought I wanted to run by you, see what you thought about this whole Phil Robertson thing. Me and my family, we stand with Phil, and we're doing whatever we can to try to support him. But this reminds me, I know as I read through the Bible, there's a lot of prophecy given. Some has an immediate fulfillment and then a later fulfillment. There's two fulfillments, kind of a picture before the end times.
Yeah.
And I can't help but think when I relate this to the Baker in Colorado and other things going on, that this kind of reminds me of the mark of the beast in the end times when you're not allowed to buy or sell without accepting the mark. And unless you accept homosexuality lately, it's almost like you can't buy or sell or work. I mean, this guy's losing his job, kind of.
Yeah,
and I just wanted to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right, Jacob, and I appreciate your call. That's exactly right. This is the mark of the beast, what Jacob is talking about. And the point from Revelation, I'm not saying this is the mark of the beast at the end of history. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is that Satan's purpose all through human history is to so oppress people of faith that they cannot even engage in commerce without permission from a demonically controlled government. That's the mark of the beast. Where the beast, it's the mark of the beast. It comes ultimately from that ancient serpent, the devil called Satan, and he will impose some kind of regulation, some kind of restriction where you cannot buy or sell unless you have a permit from him. Unless you have his mark on your forehead, your mark on your hand, you're not allowed to engage in commerce. So anytime you have regulation like that, that prohibits people of faith from buying or selling, and this is what's happened to Phil Robertson. He got bounced off of this show, which is a source of income for him. So his ability to be involved in the commerce that's connected to that program has been terminated. That is the mark of the beast, and that's what Satan is constantly trying to do. And the implication from Revelation, the time is going to come, and I'm not saying we're close to that. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying nobody knows. Every generation of believers has thought they were close, have thought that they were close to the end. Every one of them has been wrong, so we just don't know. But, the last caller was saying, look, that's one of the marks of what Satan is trying to do. And when you have regulation that restricts your ability to engage in commerce, and somehow that is connected, I mean, the baker in Colorado, the florist in Washington, the baker in Oregon, their ability to buy and sell has been terminated by the beast. They are bearing, they have had the mark of the beast. They won't take the mark of the beast. And so because they won't take the mark of the beast, they can't buy and they can't sell. They've been shut down. They've been put out of business because they will not accept the mark of the beast. The mark of the beast is you got to embrace homosexuality if you want to be a part of commercial transactions in this jurisdiction. They won't take the mark of the beast because they belong to the Lamb, and consequently, they're not allowed to buy or sell. Anyway, great call. Thank you. Let's go to Robert, Mobile, Alabama. Robert, welcome to Focal Point. What's on your mind?
Well, unfortunately, I do believe that I'm going to get cut off, but this is going to offend a whole lot of people. Okay? With Phil Robertson. Now,
let me, I just want to be sure. Now, you understand that we've got a family, this is a family program, so we've got to be careful about how we address topics. All right, go ahead.
Yes, I mean, as far as the government, this is going to offend them.
All right, going to offend them, not our listening audience. All right.
No, as far as Phil Robertson goes, God uses people to try to awake his people. As we know, September 11th was a tragedy, but September 11th was the beginning of God's judgment on his people as well as everyone else. Phil Robertson just was a messenger. A&E, they're corrupt. The infestation of gays, lesbians, and bisexuals and transvestites in the world, that is what God is telling everyone to do away with. I heard a commercial on the other show before you that had a gay person saying, Phil Robertson better watch out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, personally, gays, they need to watch out because apparently they have lost all track of what is right.
Mm-hmm.
So Phil Robertson don't have anything to worry about. He knows where he's going whenever he dies.
Yeah.
Gays and lesbians, well, unfortunately, all antichrists, that's everyone who don't believe in God for our government that's listening to the show, will spend eternity in a lake of fire. God's judgment is pure. God's judgment is absolute, and it's the way it is. The government needs to get used to it.
All right, Robert, listen, I appreciate your call, and what Robert is saying is right. And, you know, the response that we should have as Christians to the reality of what Robert is saying, because, you know, Phil Robertson just quoted God. I mean, adulterers are not going to make it into the kingdom of heaven. Swindlers are not going to make it into the kingdom of heaven. Drunkards are not going to make it into the kingdom of heaven. People who cheat in business are not going to make it into the kingdom of heaven. The sexually immoral are not going to make it into the kingdom of heaven. That is, apart from the forgiveness that comes only through repentance and the shed blood of Jesus Christ. Now, that's just a fact. That's God saying that. And what that ought to do for us as Christians is it ought to break our hearts for people that are facing that kind of eternity. We do not want that for anyone. And so, you know, we're sort of like the flag man. There's a bridge that's out ahead, and you've got a flag man that's standing there in the road, and he's waving these yellow flags. Look, the bridge is out. Stop, turn around, go back, because if you keep going the direction you're going, it's certain death. And that's why we sound the warning alarm. If we did not care about people, we would not try to warn them of the eternal consequences of the choices that we make. But it is because we care for people, made in the image of God, that we must do what we can to warn them of the eternal consequences of their rejection of Jesus Christ and his standards. Focal Point, AFR Talk.